past few years, collective research has debunked the popular myths that a high-fiber diet lifestyle can cause unfinished housework, late dinners, and neglected family members. In fact, continuing studies show that a high-fiber diet lifestyle may significantly improve the disposition of a crafter, creating a more contented home life. Furthermore, continued exposure can develop an ability to endure meetings, waiting rooms, school functions, and sporting events without experiencing the kind of boredom it makes one want to consume lead paint. Here are just a few ways one can properly increase daily fiber intake. Visit your local yarn store or shop online. Join online fiber communities. Tour sheep or alpaca farms. Attend fiber festivals. Or listen to the High Fiber Diet podcast. Please remember to spread your fiber intake throughout the day rather than trying to get it all in one shot. Stretching and resting is important, and your body will thank you.
Hi, this is Kagi. Welcome to the High Fiber Diet. Oh, I hope you're joining me from someplace warm. We're finally starting to warm up here in West Michigan. And yeah, it is the beginning part of May. I think it's the 10th. And it's been a while since I had a confession. So here we go. Have a few finished objects, have a few on the go, have some things that I've picked up. Not really a whole lot in life that other than, work and stuff like that. And we all have that. So we can complain, but it doesn't do any good. And that's not why we're here anyways. I am wearing a blue Sans that was knit by my person, Lori. And I absolutely adore it. And it's like getting a hug from her every time. And I hope people that I give knitting or crochet to feel like they're also getting hugged when they wear them or use them. Because it is just, we're so far away. She lives up in Alaska. We talk mostly every day. There are a few that we don't get together on. But mostly by text. And we get together when we can, but other than that, we at least think of each other and try and make things for each other and do feel-good boxes every once in a while. So what do I have going on? I could not find my sock blockers, so I do have a few finished socks, but I'm in the process of moving around my office into the other room and having an exclusive craft room that will be both Sarge and my craft area. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. So the first thing I'm going to talk about finishing out of my squirrel bag from Stitched by Jessalou, I finished my socks that were made up in, that's not the one for that. This is Enchanted Yarn Club May in Dolly DK, which is what the blue is, and leftover of my Adventure Sock Club, which was Hot Cocoa from This was from Sweet Mountain Crafts, and this was from Beehive Yarns. Deep stash, very deep stash on the blue. The blue is only superwash merino. It doesn't have nylon in it. They're for me, not worried about it. I have this much left over of the blue. I did do heels, toes, and cuffs in the brown. I did these on my size 3 needles. They are DK weight, standard of 48 cast on. I only did 8 rows of ribbing on this. I did I was trying out both heels. I want to see how they're going to wear. I did an eye of partridge on this one, and I did a straight slip stitch on this one. And then did the heel turn, brought it down, and I did a standard toe. All on double points because that's how I rock. and that is one set of socks. These were done on my Knit Picks needles, the wooden needles. Just trying out different things, very tactile right now. Do I want to do metal? Do I want to do wood? Do I want shellacked wood, or do I want plain wood? So I just felt like I needed to try things out again, because sometimes you change as you get older. So that was one finished object. And then in my hippo bag, which is from, is there, yeah, not sure who made this one. It's a hippo bag. Let's see, here we go. The Silver Shed. And I finished up with this much remaining. This DK yarn does have nylon in it. It is from Chicken Lady Fiber Arts, and it is 75% merino and 25% nylon, and this is Executive Producer. And I did some duckies. I had started these last year, and both are done with just the ducky on the leg. Then I did slip stitch, and I came down to just a rounded toe, and those are finished. Again, these are, I believe, for me. I had them short and were going to give them away, and then I re-picked up and redid the toe, and so now it's long enough. I am trying to write down the length of toe and the length of cuff that I like. And so I started another pair, and I will talk about those in a bit, but that has more my numbers, and so I've written that down in my journal, and that's kind of what I'm going to go with as soon as I figure things out. I think the length of my foot on the size 3 needles, which these were done in just plain size 3. Who is this from? I think it's Haya. Crystal Palace. I'm wrong. These are Crystal Palace needles that I had did these on. Yeah, words and things. Yep. So I do like a 48 stitch on a DK. I do like the size 3, and I'm figuring out the length of the rib, the length of the leg, the heel turn, and the length of the foot once the gusset is done. And so I want socks that fit me, and I have noticed that this year has been the year of things don't fit or things don't work out. So the sweater that I did that bled everywhere, socks, I've had to rip back 2 pairs of socks that just aren't long enough for my feet. I don't know where my brain is when I'm working on these things. I think I'm just over the knitting. I also did a sweater where it's just not long enough, and so I ripped back on that, and I'm like, no, I need more. If you did just hear the heater turn on, which I don't know if this is going to pick it up or not, it is only 30 degrees outside. Yes, our heater is on. No, I am not blocking out that noise. No, I am not turning it off. So yeah, that's where I am right now on that. I started and finished a book genre crochet along, and this is out by Two of Wands and Lion Brand Yarns, and I picked this up before the knit along started. I am still working. I need to cast on the knit one, but I did the crochet one. I went to Joann's and I picked up yarn that was called for, but I picked it up in colorways that I wanted, and so this is done. I think it took me 4 days. And this is the book club, I believe this is the book club, wrap in crochet. And each of these colors, you're supposed to pick a genre, and I didn't particularly have the availability of the genres that came from Lion Brand Yarn, which I got a kit down here for the knit one, but I decided I wanted to do the crochet one as well. And this is the crochet version. I did fringe on the edge. I absolutely adore it. It is done out of a chunky weight, and that's kind of my vibe right now. I'm liking it. And I call this my Western wear. The colors that I did it in they are out of Hue and Me, which is a 2 of 1s with Lion Brand yarn. And it is 80% acrylic, 20% wool. And I needed 3 skeins of the dark gray, which is Werewolf. And that's this one. And I used full skeins of everything, which included the fringe. So everything is used up and gone out of my stash. So the colors that are intermixed that you can see best down here are Bellini. That one's Werewolf. Bellini, Grapefruit, Arrowwood, and Rosewood. And that brought out a little bit of peachy, orangey, pinky colors. And there's this mustardy, really dark stone ground mustardy, which is the arrowroot. Yeah. And I just love the way it all came together. It reminded me of I don't know, the colors in the old spaghetti westerns that you used to see, and the colors of the desert, which I love so much. So that is what I did on that. And like I said, I adore it. If I were to put it on, throw this under my big wool coat, have this out just all nice and snuggly. And this is me. So I'm loving it. I haven't worn it out yet. It hasn't been cold enough, but we do get down in the negatives in the winter time, which thankfully we're headed more into spring right now. I am knocking on wood, I'll tell you, because I don't like cold all that much. But this was a quick crochet up. Like I said, 2 of 1s is doing a crochet along, knit along, and I will also be doing the knitted version, and I believe those are going to be my sister gifts this year. So yeah, I wear it and I show it, but I think they're going to be my sister gifts. So I'll get those done and out for Christmas, tuck them aside. And I think both of them will like it. My one sister moved to the Reno area, so she gets a lot of snow. My other sister, it'll be a little bit thinner with the crocheted one. She lives in upstate Washington, so she gets enough cold that she could use a shawl. That's not a problem. I also decided to finish up a project that I have been working on since 2020. And it was a bunch of bobble blanket, and it was a Christmas tree that you were supposed to make up with a lot more squares than what I have here. This is what I have left over, plus 2 skeins that I have used in something else. And so I have a ton of yarn that I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with yet. This is in a Stitched by Jessalou Nomi bag, but I decided to put together the blanket without doing the big Christmas tree because I was over making these squares, just done. So these are bobbles. And so I made a baby blanket size, and I just single crocheted these together. You can see the ridge, I'm good with that. And the back doesn't look horrible either. There's 1 star, and then 2 or 3 of all of the other squares. And then I did the offset plain, and then I just did a granny square edging on it. Nothing super fancy. It will be held for a Christmas baby and then given away. So that's another finished object. Wow, I feel like I completed a lot, but I don't feel like I had much time to craft at all in the last, since I've seen you. It's just been crazy. Let's see. I did get through one sock. This is the sock that I'm taking my numbers on. I'm doing the hibernal, I believe that's how you say it, sock pattern. So it's, let's see, best way to show it. Natural light here, above light up there, we'll see. So there is a lace pattern. It's a mock rib lace. And I am finding that for myself, size 10 women's shoe, I like 12 rows of ribbing, a total of 6 inches before I start the slip stitch heel. Standard heel turn with 13. My slip stitch heel is 24 rows plus picking up one in the corner. That gives me 13 that I have to decrease back down. And then the total from the edge of the pickup to where I start the gusset is 55 rows. And then I do a slanted heel turn. As much as I like the rounded, to tell you the truth, the slanted fits my foot better. And most people don't say that. Most people say, well, your toes are, yeah, but this one, just the way that it comes apart, you know, it stretches, lots of stretch there. And that fits my foot the best. And I really like, you know, just a straight heel turn. And so that is what I am working out here. But those are my magic numbers. Everybody has their own magic numbers when it comes to socks. For DK weight socks, which are what I wear even in my boots in the winter time, or I wear around the house. Now I do have regular weight socks for, you know, wearing in my tennies or wearing in my dress shoes. So this is what I like. I have started, and these I am doing because I'm trying out needles. These I am doing on my Chiaogu. Yep. And I have this started, and these are Chiaogu double point needles. And I have this in a Mrs. Brown's bag. Excuse my nose, it is just horrible. You need a sip of tea. It is that time of year. Everybody is going through some sort of ick. And I was around kids, so that comes through. What else have I done? I started the landscape wrap from 2 of Wands while I was waiting for my chunky to come in. And this is done in Color Theory, which is 100% acrylic, I believe. Yep, 100% acrylic. And this is for, again, a family member. And the colors that I am going with, let's see if I can do this. Let me move that bag out of the way. So I have these, plus this one. So this is Raisin, Thunder, Stonewash, So one's gray, one's blue. Himalayan salt. Bone. And then for the pop on this, I did peacock, which is a very greeny blue. And I have started that on size 10 needles. It is, I believe, a DK weight, but I'm doing it on much larger needles. So this is the beginning of the shawl, and it's just a standard triangle. Nothing fancy, just haven't had time to sit down with it. And so that is the landscape. It's a free pattern. All of these with the Two of Wands. She normally offers her patterns for free on her blog. Yes, you have to put up with the ads and stuff that, you know, she pays for her blog with and the usage, but you can also buy them as PDFs either on her site or on sites like Ravelry. So however you want to get it, one way or another. This is a bag from Quilted by a Jackie, made for me. And I had finished my toast arm warmers last time. And I have gotten, I'd say 3/4 of the way through the hat that will go with it. And I have a few more inches to do before I move into the crown decreases. I am doing this with a Deep Stash Have No Idea yarn. And I have this much of the mohair left. Or is this? No, this is mohair. And so I have to make sure when I'm knitting with it that I keep it away from my eyes, because mohair has a way of getting in behind my eye socket and trying to make me blind. So yeah, so that is actually, this normally just sits in my car, and when I go for an oil change or when I have waiting for somebody or doing something, or I haven't taken something to sit with at the doctor's or something like that, I pull this out. And that's why this is taking so long, is it's my to-go project. In a very old bag, most of these are very old bags. This one was from the 2014 Knitting in the Mitten Retreat. I have my Veronica sweater, and this I am doing out of Malabrigo Seis Cabos in Paris Nights. And so I have the skeins of this. It is a very, very deep navy blue. And I have the beginning of it. Not exactly sure how this is gonna work out or anything, but I am to the point. One side has all of the purl bumps, and I think this is coming up this way and forming the neck, but it's one of those origami knits that you knit it, you trust the pattern, and then you fold it and you do it, and that's going, it is a Veronica cardigan. It's like a, kind of like a shrug, but it is very long, and yeah. I am making it on, are these 9s or 8s? These are 8s, size 8 needles. Then my person made me this. I am in the middle of making her a Magnus cardigan. And that is done out of, let's see, Karen Colorama Halo in the Sea and Sky colorway. And just black woolies, worsted, not the bulky. And I am going back and forth on arms. I'm at the point where I am just crocheting down this side, and I have the arm, whoops, let's see, I am using an eye hook, and I'm crocheting down this, going every other, using the black to arrow up each time, so I'm not changing in between. I don't have all the weave-ins. And I'm going to get to that, and then I have another ball that will attach at this color and hopefully make them pretty even. And then I will pick up everything and knit the cuffs and knit the whole band and knit the bottom. And this should make up in her size according to everything that I have measured. It should fit her. If not, I guess I'm making another one and this will go to somebody else. Fingers crossed on that. Hard part of not having somebody here to measure, right? So I'm working on it. I am hoping to have this finished within the next 2 weeks. It is a goal of mine to get that mailed out in time for her to still be able to wear it up in Alaska and stay cozy. Not that, you know, it won't come around again to where she'll be able to wear warm clothes again. I also have my own crocheted sweater going, and this is in a bag that was given to me by a lady at work. And it says knitting because murder is wrong. But I am using up the squares that I had made out of Red Heart Simply Saver granny square from Yarn Inspirations. It makes up the little granny squares. And I have most of them, well, all the squares are done. And then I am using Mainstays 100% acrylic in this turquoise color. And I have this whole bag of squares. And so far, I have a front. And of course it's got to be steamed and put together, and I'm not sure if this is the front or the back or the whatever. And the other front. And so now I am working on the back and getting that put together. And then I will knit the sleeves, knit the bottom, and knit the body band. And I don't know if I'll do buttons or not. I may just have it open like this. Not really using a pattern. Just going with what I wanted. And I didn't want the crochet on the sleeves this time. I wanted it knit. I have 3 more skeins of this blue. I know I'll have enough. I am dropping my needle or my hook, and that again is a size I hook that I'm using on the turquoise. I used a bigger G. There's 2 sizes for G. though this calls for an eye, I couldn't get it to come out even if I used an eye with my tension. So I used a G, and now I'm using an I to put it all together. And I'll pick up that hook when I can find it. But that's going in that. I'm not a yarn snob. I have really good yarn, and I use really good yarn. And then I also use the washable, and I use acrylic, and I don't believe in, unless it is absolutely 100% gross feeling, I'm not going to knit with it, but I knit with what I can, and I knit with what's in my stash, or I buy new, and I have from super expensive to completely inexpensive, and I'm happy with all of it. So if you're a yarn snob, I'm sorry, this isn't the program for you. So in my Erin Lane bag, I have CJ Kopek silk and merino. Like I said, I have all sorts in here. Doing this up on my, I have picked up these copper needles from Temu, which I will tell you, they are turning into some of my favorites. This is the Stephen West, Westford. Is it Westford? I don't know. It's one of his shawls, Westford something. And I finally finished the outside. I picked up the inside, and I am now slowly but surely 300 and something stitches in, decreasing up. And this will eventually become a shawl that I can use and wrap up in. It is amazingly scrunchy. It, you know, the colors that I am using, CJ Kopek, these are all her yarns. All of them are shown right here, all blended, and they're all singles. And I will definitely be able to finish this. It's just slow going, always has been, and it'll get done when it gets done. That's my philosophy on things, hopefully in my lifetime. There we go. Looking around, I think that's all I have touched. I didn't bring out a bunch of other projects, but that's all that I have worked on. I do have a knit group that I'm helping learn to knit. They're working on washcloths, hats, and scarves, and that's going swimmingly. We meet the first and third Thursday of the month. If you're local and want to get in touch, we can. Do have a couple other things to talk about though. This, you've seen them on the social media, on the interwebs, where you put your cake of yarn and then you knit off your cake of yarn because you can walk with it. Well, I walk with my knitting all the time, throw my bag underneath my arm and I'm off, or I have it on my treadmill and I'm walking and knitting, just to keep my hands busy. I knit in meetings and in sessions and I always have my knitting with me, and I'm a kinetic learner, so the more I use my hands, the more my brain works. So that's how it works for me. Don't waste your money. If you like it, fine, it's yours. For me, I will say that it got tangled up right here the whole time. My ball was out to here. I started it with those new socks that I'm doing, and it's just not enough room for me to have it here and be knitting, and it just constantly wants to tangle upon itself. And if it's something I'm having to fiddle with that slows down my knitting, I don't want to deal with it. So, not something I'd recommend. just not something I'm going to be using, and I don't know what I will be doing with this. No, it's not my gadget of choice. I did, however, see on Instagram that people were taking these Carhartt hats, and I picked up 2, and they are embroidering. And because I want to learn to embroider, and I have a whole bunch of ways to do it, but again, time, I picked up from Stitchin' with Samantha on Etsy and Pinterest, and Stitchin, STITCHIN .with.Samantha on Instagram and TikTok. I saw where you take and you go around the outside of the Carhartt square. And sorry for the wrinkling, I haven't opened this yet, but maybe you can see it without it. But you take and you put the embroidery. This is the kind that you embroider through and then wash off, and it comes out clean. I'm going to do the moose. I think I'm going to do the moose on this one. And then the other one is mountains and trees. And I'm going to do it on this one. But with the mountains and trees, there's some birdies. And so I'm going to go more around. And so it'll go around the brim. And I want to learn to do that. And I bought these when they were on sale at Christmas. I'm like, I'm going to just get them and we will see how that works. And so I'm going to try to embroider. So that's one thing I'm going to learn this year. I am actually going to, I know it's 3 months in, but I need to learn to embroider. The next thing I'm going to learn is I picked up from Babylon Leather. If you watch YouTube videos, which obviously if you're watching me, I can't be the only one that you watch, but I saw that Tosh down in Australia, I can't remember the name of her podcast, and also Wine and Wool or Wool and Wine, forget the name of theirs, but they've done these, and came with the little horse. But I picked up, and I haven't completely gotten in here yet, but I picked up the one for the iPod Pro case. And I have my iPod Pros, and they go with me all the time. And this is a little leather case that you can put your iPod case in. It has a spot where you can charge it through it and everything. And so I wanted to get that done. And on top of that, let's see, here it is. There's the little case. And I've still got to look at the how-to on the videos. It gives you all the information in here of what you're doing, and your tutorial videos are done through a QR code. And I'm going to learn how to do this. They also sent me a snowflake bag, which I think it's a coin purse. I'll probably use it as a accessory bag, but it's got everything punched. It's just where you go with it and how you put it through. And there's a QR code for this one on getting that made up as well. That was on top of the one that I bought. And then, like I said, they sent through the little horse, and they also sent through some ribbon and some other that I don't know what it is, but I haven't looked that much. And I'm going to do a little bit of leather working because I've never done that before. So I wanted to reduce this year, but I also wanted to learn. And so that's what's going on here. But some of the reduction that I wanted to do is I have a lot of bulky yarn. I have Lamb's Pride, I have acrylic, I have a lot of hand spun that I did in bulky. And so I picked up the book 52 Weeks of Chunky Knits. And this is from Lane Publishing. And in this book, I want to do the Bud and Blossom. Let's see, can I get a full picture, or did they not do a full picture? Yep. This is the Bud and Blossom sweater, and I have enough yarn that I can do it a little bit longer because that short wouldn't work on me. And I really like it. Here's a bit of a close-up on it. And then in glancing through, I also found, is it this one? Yeah. This is the Bluma, which is done in, originally in an Elma by Vanyu. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's in Finnish. But it is a pullover that I really like. And because I have a rule of 3, I also want to do, and I think I have enough hand spun to do the Bobble Kite. And that's the only picture of that. It is a shawl with a bobble edging on it, and I really like it. There's quite a few others that are like, maybe. Let me see how the patterns are written and see what I want to do. And I have a few other books. I'm going to be going through my book list that I had and getting rid of some that I will probably never knit from. But on the other side, I have a lot of books that I want to knit with that I just haven't, because all the ooh shinies come up. And the ooh shinies don't get stuff done. I need to sort exactly what I want, and I need to plan out what I need to make. I'm also doing a stash reduction. I have friends and family members that knit that I can give to, or I can, of course, give to thrift stores or the VA or things like that, and or even nursing homes. But this is going to help me get through some of my stash, and I wanted to show that. I think that's about it. I do belong to a yarn club from Spartacus Dyes. We've been getting one skein a month if that's what you signed up for. And I think this might have been the last one. No, I think this was the second one that I got. So I got the first one, which was based on Wicked, and the second one was based on Hamilton, and the third one will be based on Greece, I believe. And so, yeah, I don't have them to show you because I've already tucked them aside, but I am getting those. Watch and see if Mary is going to put out more of a yarn club or not. If you like Spartacus Dyes, look her up. I think that is it for my knitting and crochet, and I don't really have anything on the family side. So until next time, check your checkbook before starting the high fiber diet. Bye-bye.